Capricorn, happy full moon. I hope it's treating you well. Given the messages that I've been getting, I think that for some of you it hopefully is, and for others maybe not. But I think all in all it's good. But I mean, we're gonna look into that in a minute. I did have a few messages for you before the tarot, before the oracles that I've pulled the oracles already. I did. It's interesting. I'm going to share this with you, and I hope it's not too much information for you to handle, Capricorn. But there's a reason for it. So, I mean, oddly enough, I spent several hours of my night talking to my favorite Capricorn, who had actually messaged me the morning of, or the morning after the full moon, to talk to me about what he had done and to ask me what I had done that night before, and things like this. So we were just chatting about things in our life and whatever. I won't draw it out, but one thing I did tell him was, among the things that I did for the full moon was I just went outside and I just sat under the moon, right? And I mentioned that, and I'm mentioning it now because it's like kind of crazy and it's a little weird, but hopefully we're all adults here. So, and then I came home, and then like for the whole night after that, I just stayed up. Like I would not go to, I like did not want to go to sleep, because honestly, my whole body, maybe not my head, but like my whole body felt like I had literally charged it under the moon. And I mean, I was only out there for maybe an hour or so. I don't remember how long I spent charging myself, right? But it felt, the best way I can describe it is like an orgasm all over my body. It was the most amazing feeling, and I didn't want to go to sleep. I didn't want to lose that, right? So it's a little uncomfortable to share that with you, Capricorn, but I felt like I needed to, because this is like your moon and this is your energy. And I feel like some of you are maybe missing out on it. Maybe you're not feeling it, because I do get this sense that, well, one of the messages I kept hearing was just the word Gemini. So maybe some of you are dealing with a Gemini, but more than that, I feel like it's indicative of I almost said Cancer. Maybe you're dealing with a Cancer, of the Capricorn collective either being splintered off into two different minds, or maybe as individuals being of two different minds themselves, right? And I think it's going to be different for all of you, but that was what I felt most strongly off of that Gemini message. And then the other thing I saw was a vision of you, I presume, of a person, and I was trying to channel Capricorn, so I took it to be you. And this person was, to me, it looked like they were trying to file something down, and I couldn't really tell what it was, but they were just filing and filing and filing. And I sort of, then I kind of got like, I don't know how it came to me, but it came to my mind that, are they grinding a tree stump? Like, so like the idea of grinding something or filing something down and just going at it and going at it, just way too long. And what I felt on that was this like spontaneous urge to just kind of walk away and throw your hands up, right? And sorry, it's very late and my voice is waning. That's why I have some coffee out. So, and I felt like maybe that was kind of the two minds of it all, was debating on whether you were going to just stop and walk away forever from this menial, repetitive task that wouldn't seem to budge. I felt like there was a frustration there of just not being able to accomplish what you were trying to accomplish, right? Excuse me for 1 second. So, but then for some reason I had this rush of like wanting to stop you from doing that. Well, like I wanted to stop you from giving up and tell you to come, like to rethink it, to come back with a whole new approach, like a whole new idea. You need to approach it from a completely different mindset or completely different strategy. I don't know what we're talking about. But that was the distinct feeling that I had, was you can walk away forever if you want. You can give up. You can stop, the grind, the maddening, filing that just won't budge. Or you could kind of rethink the situation entirely and come up with a whole new strategy. It's just something I'm throwing out there. If it doesn't resonate, then maybe it's just for one of you. I don't know. But I do feel this like splintering, this like being of two minds, either in the collective of Capricorn or within some of you yourselves internally about something. So, and then I got a song. I'm sorry that there was so much and I wrote it all down. I'm reading it off of this solicitation that I got in the mail and I jotted it down on that. So I got a song. It is by Incubus. That's the band. And the song is called Nice to Know You. And one thing, I wrote down things that stood out to me in that song. One thing was, they say, I don't know what they say, but it's something about something is better than watching somebody bending silver spoons. And that hit me because that kind of felt similar to what I saw in the image of you. Like, I mean, you weren't bending spoons, but you were filing. I did get the sense of like something metal against wood. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like of a metal against wood. And so when he said silver spoons, that's metal, right? Silver's metal. So I was like, oh yeah, that weirdly resonates with the feeling I was getting, like just bending spoons. Like why? What for, right? And just imagine if you were just bending spoons over and over and over again. I really don't know what this means, like in the real world, but I feel like it's important. And then, so right after that, he says, better than witnessing newborn nebulas in bloom. And when I just looked up the lyrics, I know the song, so I looked up the lyrics to hone in on them. Hey, buddy. So witnessing newborn nebulas in bloom, and that hit me as well, because that reminded me of the feeling that I had gotten after I had charged myself out in the moon. Was like, I don't know. If that doesn't make sense to you, then it doesn't make sense to you, but just imagine like a nebula being born, like blooming. I'm getting full Pisces on you right now, and I apologize. But, and like what that would feel like if you can translate that experience, Capricorn. And I know this is probably a stretch for a lot of you because you don't really live here. But just imagine how that might feel, just like a tingling all over, right? Nebulas are, they're magic, they're cosmic, like cosmic magic. And that's kind of what I would compare the feeling I had all over my body the whole night into the morning after I charged under your full moon. So that is why I say that if you're not kind of tapping into, your emotions to the world, because I do get this feeling of disconnection, or perhaps just now breaking away from a disconnection that you previously had, or something to that effect, okay? So I'm just going to read you the rest really quick. I haven't felt the way I feel today in so long it's hard for me to specify. I'm beginning to notice how much this feels like a waking limb. Pins and needles, nice to know you, goodbye. And that reminds me of the vision of you grinding or whatever, filing away at something. It's like to the point where, you know, you've gone numb, and all of a sudden you notice that, you know, there's pins and needles, like you're waking up, and nice to know you, goodbye. Like something has caused you to go numb, and then as you kind of come to, so to speak, and realize that you're actually getting the feeling back, you know, things are starting to circulate again, you realize, why the fuck am I doing this? And you want to, you know, deuces, goodbye, right? And that's the exact feeling I got with the stump or whatever it was that you were filing away at. It's just like, oh my God, what am I doing, you know? So to simplify that, it's like the idea of just doing something over and over and over and over again because you're used to doing it, right? Because you have this goal and you want to do it. You want to get it accomplished, but like all of a sudden one day being like, why am I doing this? This is not worth it anymore. Oh my God. And wanting to just up and go, right? Definitely been there. So those are the messages. I think I covered it and explained it the best I could. And I pulled these oracles, okay? And I pulled 2 oracles and I put them into 2 piles because I feel that's where they belong. I'm going to trust myself on that. The first pile, we have broken open. Let's see if I can get you a good shot of that card. Yeah, this light is actually, this angle of this light is actually much better than what I normally use for showing cards. My setup's all weird. I'm in the middle of moving. I kind of feel like I'm giving this reading to you in a closet because everything is like kind of closing in on me, and I feel like some of you may feel that now or have felt that recently. So broken open and willing release. And I feel like there's a lot of synchronicity in both these cards. In the broken open card, it's like she's been cracked open and something's being released, right? And that's kind of similar to what I just said about that pins and needles moment, that like epiphany, like waking up moment, like what is happening? What am I doing? And I'll pull tarot. I'm going to try to get to understand that better. And willing release is like, yeah, just letting something go because you know it's better for you to let it go. So I definitely feel for some of you there is this like being cracked open type of experience that you're having right now. I don't know if it's emotionally or, you know, mentally, just coming to a different understanding of something and realizing that, you know, this is a long time coming, that you've been kind of muted or numb in some way. And the second pile I feel like is for a different collective of Capricorns, because like I said, I feel like there's sort of this delineation here. So the first card was birds of a feather. So for some of you, I mean, this awakening or what have you could have something to do with maybe finding a community. Maybe someone else is kind of propelling you to open up, to kind of, I get the sense of just being like ignited, like tapping into some sort of fire, right? And you're Earth, Capricorn, and I love Earth energy so much. But the reason I love Earth so much, partly, I really do. There's so many Earth signs in my life. I'm so attracted to Earth energy, and it seems to be attracted to me. I don't have hardly any earth in my chart. I have 2 Virgo placements, which are like kind of not important. My north node in Virgo, which, I mean, that's your placement that you like struggle with. That's like the goal that you're pushing up the hill, right? So that's the way I see the north node anyway. It's like what you're aspiring to be. I'm aspiring to be grounded and organized and things like this, but I'm in my, my south node is where I am sort of like masterful and comfortable, and that's Pisces. And here I am, right? So here I am in all of this. So what was I saying? Oh yes. So yeah, I have hardly any earth, but I do have a lot of water and fire, not very much air either. I actually think I have more earth than air, but it doesn't matter. The point is I'm almost devoid of both. So I definitely know how to tap into my fire and my water as well. So I like earth energy because it's so different. It's so slow and contemplative and, kind of just steady, right? Steady. And it mixes well with me. So what's my point? Oh yeah. So I feel like for some of you, you are tapping into a fire, something that, I'm sure you've always had. We all can tap into any different element, any different sign that we want. It's in our chart somewhere. So there is a way for you to tap into whatever energy you want to embody. It might be easier for like Pisces, for example, but anyone can do it. So for some reason that's important for some of you. Maybe for those of you who struggle to tap into your fire, you do have it. You do have it, and you can tap into it, and you can master it, and you can use it to your advantage. I don't know why I just went off on that tangent. It must be important somehow. So I do feel like maybe birds of a feather, there's some sort of coming together that's happening, or some kind of influence or advice or companionship that you're receiving that is somehow maybe feeling like a grand symphony to you. Some sort of like cooperative, cohesive, I don't know, it feels really good. I don't necessarily know how to explain it, but something really harmonious, that's the word I was looking for. Where there's, well, maybe what I was just talking about, Capricorn, where you're good at this, they're good at that. When you bring the two of you together, it's magic. There's some sort of symphony, right? In order to have a symphony, you need a bunch of people playing a bunch of different interests. Maybe it's interests that you bounce off of each other, whatever. For a symphony, though, you need instruments. And, I don't know what instruments are in a symphony. Somebody needs to play a harp. Somebody needs to play, I don't know, a trombone, a trumpet, right? A flute. There we go. There's an instrument. So anyway, I think I'll just get into it now before I go off on another tangent. But yes, for some of you, I feel like maybe this is about you and other people and something just coming together, awakening you. And then the rest of you, I feel like there's something that is just hitting you. And I just keep wanting to say cracking you open somehow. It's breaking open. So, I mean, it's similar energies, though. When you really break it down, it's similar. But somehow I feel like they're different. Maybe some of you are tapping into a fiery energy, and others of you are more in your emotions or in your mental energy. Maybe that's the difference. Let's find out. Okay, so we have these oracles. I'll read them now. I'll read them later. Let's pull some tarot. I'm going to use the good tarot for you. Oop. Six of Wands. Okay. Not taking that. I'm not ready yet. Okay. All right, let's do willing release. Well, there you go. One more for willing release, please. Two more. Wow. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. And broken open. Okay. One more for broken open since I got 3 for that one. Interesting. So I do see emotions here. I do see emotions here. All right, I'll start with you guys, and then I'll move on to the others over here. I mean, I feel like this energy over here is better, so I hate to make you wait. Maybe I'll put in a timestamp in case you think that this harmony and birds of a feather resonates with you and not this. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So for willing release, we have the Ace of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords. Okay. So I could read this 2 different ways. Maybe when I read the card, maybe I should read them now. But this feels like you're either letting go of something, potentially a commitment, family, you know, separating or divorcing, and you're getting really emotional about it. Whether that's good, bad, ugly, I don't know. Whether you're regretting it, I don't know. But that could be a source of emotion at this time. Could also be something about forgiveness. Okay, we'll read into the card and see. But that's basically all I see right here is you're releasing some sort of emotions. You're either releasing a heartache or a regret of some kind on your end or someone else's end. It could be accepting an apology or giving an apology, for me with the Three of Swords. And your emotions are welling up either over a loss or a save. Does that make sense? And then here, I mean, this is kind of similar, but in this one I feel much better. So putting these together, I would say that it's heading in a good direction. We have the Four of Cups coming out first. To me, this is a missed opportunity, disappointment. You know, someone kind of looking back and just being like dissatisfied, bored, numb, cut off. I could definitely be this energy. And maybe somebody was just kind of like cold, right? Just removed from a situation. Off in another world dealing with other things. They're preoccupied. So they don't really see the love in that cup right there that's being offered to them, right? But then we have the Fool and the Two of Cups. So I feel like this is coming out of that, like I said, it's like coming out of the fog, so to speak, the numbness, being distracted and whatever, and starting a new cycle. You're taking a risk, you're jumping in, you're having faith and trust in your partnership. So for most of you, I do feel like that is what is going on here. For some of you, you could be releasing a sense of betrayal, of heartache or loss in the past and starting something new with someone else. Take it however it resonates for you. Let's read these oracles before I move on. Willing release. Okay, it's number 49. That could be important to some of you. Okay. Yeah, there you go, the Fool card. Yielding to a divine plan, releasing attachment to form, especially if something isn't what you expected or wanted, leaving room for serendipity. Absolutely. Okay, first of all, it's weird that these cards came over here with this card because I feel this over here even more strongly. Four of Cups can be about not seeing your manifestations coming in, not seeing your blessings, because they don't show up exactly how you wanted them to, right? Like let's say, you know, you're trying to manifest love and you're manifesting a dude, right? And he has to be 6 feet tall, right, ladies? He has to be at least 6 feet tall. And he comes in at 5'9", right? And you're like, nope, can't possibly be my one and only that I've been waiting for and asking for because he's not 6 feet tall. Well, that's a little superficial, isn't it now? It is. So that's just an example of the Four of Cups and what can happen with the Four of Cups. Sometimes when something that we've literally been asking for shows up at our doorstep and we're like, no, not it, not perfect, right? So sorry to go off on a tangent. But yeah, and then surrendering to yielding to a divine plan, releasing attachments, leaving room for serendipity. The Fool card is very much that energy. It's taking that blind leap of faith and trusting that God, the universe, has your back and it's going to guide you. So that's beautiful. Okay, that's just the key concepts. So let's read it. Some days you have to let go of your struggle to find an answer and focus on other things for a while. This doesn't mean giving up altogether or losing anything. Remember that in our co-creative partnership with the divine, give and take is necessary. You do your part by setting your intentions and taking any necessary actions, but you must then surrender the form, the timing, and the how to your higher power. There you go. Four of Cups, manifestations showing up not exactly how you wanted them to. Not on time, not in the right form. Exactly. There is a divine plan for each of us. When acting on this faith, you may find that your intense desire for something translates into a feeling of attachment and entitlement. Right now, can you immerse yourself in this experience and allow the divine plan to unfold as it will on your behalf without interference? Can you be open to receiving what is yours, even if it is not packaged in the form you thought you wanted? Perhaps if you look deeper, you will see that you've received the perfect vibrational match to your most authentic wants and needs. You have put in the work, defined your desires and felt them deeply, and engaged your higher power. Now you must let go and see what transpires. This isn't always easy. Impatience erodes the foundations of your trust in the divine. Surrendering truly will serve your highest good. Knowing this truth in your heart, can that really be so difficult? Okay. So for some of you, you broke your own heart with this Three of Swords by just being impatient, right? Or by rejecting something because, I don't know, you weren't seeing it clearly, I want to say, or you weren't paying enough attention. Interesting. Okay, well, let's read Broken Open. Ooh. All right, well, let's dig in and see what happens. Broken Open number 28, the gift of grief, being shattered as a result of loss, the potential inherent in failure. Okay, well, this feels more, I think these are reversed. I think this is more like Three of Swords. Okay, excuse me. There are situations in life when you see the value of loss, grief, and a broken heart. There are situations in life when you see the value. Are there? Okay. Yeah, it's not the pain or loss itself that must be the focus of your attention here. No, not even the story of what happened, the details surrounding what has brought you to your knees is as important as what results from the experience. Okay? Can you see that this situation has broken you wide open, enabling you to have an even greater capacity for love, compassion, empathy, and understanding? You cannot be the same person as before. The Fool, it's literally like a new cycle. You're a new person. You're taking all the lessons you've learned and starting anew. Okay. The only way forward is to move through it, without resistance or manipulation, without attempting to bargain with unseen forces, because none of your usual fallbacks can put you back together again. If you do fall prey to self-absorption or self-pity, it will just make it harder to get to the next gradual phase leading to relief. Yet even if you are prolonging the inevitable, you will get there eventually. Prolonging the inevitable. That's so interesting because that came up in Cancer's reading. If you're dealing with a Cancer, I did accidentally say Cancer, you should watch that reading. Okay. Prolonging the inevitable. You will get there eventually. The gift is in accepting who you've become as a consequence of integrating this difficult experience and allowing yourself to be more than you were. This wisdom comes at a high price, but the value of your experience of moving through and to the other side is unsurpassed. Love the you that is the result of being broken open by life's challenges and lessons. Well, okay. That pulls it together a little bit more for me, sure. I mean, obviously there's some sort of heartbreak here, whether in the past or in the future. I don't know, you pick. But there's obviously some sort of heartbreak that's happened. But it taught you about love, right? It taught you about commitment, stability, family, legacy. And it opened up. I mean, as it does. I'll just speak on my personal experience to you. Yes, it takes you to depths of emotion that you previously were not capable of feeling, because how are you going to really be able to learn yourself and your emotions and your capabilities if you don't ever get the opportunity to experience them, right? I don't know if that makes any sense, but for sure. So whatever this heartbreak was, past, present, future, it's taught you something, or it will teach you something about love and relationships, about that long-term commitment, about family. And instead of being disappointed and impatient, maybe this is about, going through something like this and having to be patient because of the time it takes for you to learn the lesson from that heartbreak, from that pain, for you to heal from it and integrate it into your being, right? And that sucks. That sucks when you think you're ready and then later you realize I wasn't ready. I was sitting here though, humming and hawing and being all miserable and unsatisfied because what I wanted wasn't coming. But it won't come until you get into this energy, until you feel like the Fool. And I speak from experience on that as well. Until you feel like the world is your oyster, you have learned, you have healed, and you are so ready and know exactly what you want to feel and do. And I mean, take it or leave it, it's up to you. But in my personal opinion, what that looks like in terms of who you do it with should not be so important as who that person is, how they make you feel, right? And Two of Cups, I mean, this to me, I think from just reading this, is about you confronting yourself, getting in touch with your higher self, elevating for sure. Because if you're a person who's like in more of a base energy, you are going to be superficial. You are going to be looking at someone and saying, oh no, 2 inches too short, or whatever the case may be, she's too tall. I don't know how these things work, because I don't care about those things. But this is about confronting yourself and reaching up to your higher self for guidance, and really meeting yourself face to face. But when you do that, you also better equip yourself to come face to face with someone else who is on your level, who you see eye to eye with, who's matched for you. And so I didn't think this was about love necessarily, but it looks like it might be. At the very least, it's about loving yourself, understanding yourself, and integrating all the things, no matter how messy or troubling they may have been for you. There is, there's a seed in there somewhere for something better for you. Okay, next, Birds of a Feather and the Grand Symphony. All right, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, honestly. We have the Emperor. Whoa. 3 of Wands, nice. Didn't I say something about fire energy here? What else do we have for the Grand Symphony? Jesus, okay. Let's get one more for Birds of a Feather. The Hanged Woman, okay. Yeah, someone's changing your perspective here. Okay, give me more for the Grand Symphony, or a Grand Symphony. This is a little bit one note. Can I get more? King of Cups, okay. Anything else about this? Nine of Wands, okay. Okay. I'm going to read the oracles on this one because I'm a little thrown off. Definitely a lot of fire energy here. Definitely a lot of impatience and seizing the day. We got King of Wands, 3 of Wands in reverse, and the Emperor. To me, the 3 of Wands in reverse is about not waiting. You're not going to just like sit on the, riverbank and hope that something comes to you. You're going to Emperor that shit, and you're going to go get it. King of Wands. King of Wands goes after what he wants. This is all fire energy, like I said. But then we also have some water energy here too. Okay, Hanged Woman is Pisces energy. King of Cups is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. So there's something here also about emotions. So this could be another person. Your perspective on this person could be changing. And maybe this is somebody, because the King of Cups kind of spun around a little bit. Maybe this is somebody that you thought was emotionally unstable, or perhaps manipulative, perhaps had a drinking problem even, a little bit of a slob, because he did spin around. And then maybe that has something to do with this perspective shift, okay? Or maybe you're the King of Cups. Take it however you want. I feel like you're in this fire energy. King of Wands and the Emperor, I can definitely see a Capricorn stepping into. And then we have this 9 of Wands here. To me, given all of this, I feel like there's been some sort of break from probably this person, if that's what you're changing your perspective on. And one or both of you have had your guard up, maybe having to recover from something. I mean, maybe it's attached to this, and maybe one of you was heartbroken and needed recovery time. I don't know. But this definitely, to me, signals some sort of break, some sort of time out. To me, this can often be a card of the time out, because it's the Nine of Wands is where you go to insulate yourself, to protect yourself. You know you're not finished. You know you have to keep going because it's a card of perseverance, but it's like, okay, I just need a minute because I can't keep going like this. And it did come out over here with this King of Cups, so maybe, I mean, quite literally, if this is like about alcoholism, this could be like a rehab. But I don't want to get too specific. It's just I can't help when the King of Cups is spinning around. I think emotional instability, emotional manipulation, and possibly alcoholism. So, yeah. Okay, there was some sort of situation for you or this person or both of you that was very tiring, that required some sort of break, whatever that may be. And somewhere along the line, one or both of you's perspective has shifted. One of you is no longer waiting. And maybe you're not waiting for this person anymore. I don't know. Let's get into the oracles. 25. Birds of a feather. So this definitely has to do with other people. Sharing, community, a sense of belonging, fellowship with like-hearted people, understanding the concept of a we before me. Okay, well, the Emperor is definitely, some people characterize him as selfish, but same thing with the King of Wands. But upright, I don't think that's true at all. They're both nurturing, caring, community-focused people. They take care of, you know, the to-do lists, or they delegate it, whatever the case may be, but they make sure that everything is done, that everyone's taken care of. They are a caring, nurturing energy. Emperor is divine masculine energy. Okay, so have you ever wondered how people naturally gravitate to one another and discover a surprising intimacy and connection? There is a kind of magnetic energy, like an invisible ray of light, that gently pulls people together to form something beautiful that can be shared. As in the saying, birds of a feather flock together, it comes from an instinctual need for belonging, you might say. We need community to survive, to thrive, and grow. We humans are social creatures after all. None of us are meant to be alone. The concept of belonging is playing an important role in your life currently. Perhaps you recently found yourself in a group where you knew you were in the right place. Trust these strands of connection, for now is the time to thrive in the community. What you will find is a deeper and more expansive way of looking at the world by bearing yourself to others and sharing ideas, hopes, and dreams. However long you stay here in this journey of becoming who you're meant to be, connecting to community and participating in fellowship is the best thing for you right now. You will flourish as part of a network of like-minded and like-hearted people. Stick to what feels good and resonates with your heart as true. When you understand the value of this community, you will discover everything you're hoping for and much more than you're expecting. Well, maybe there is some community experience. I don't even know what this would be. These cards are like bouncing me around. We do have two kings, okay? So you're both whoever this other person is, if it's another person, it could be two aspects of yourself as well. It could be, okay, it could be that you knew what you wanted. You felt like you were in control of some sort of situation, but you had to rethink it for some reason because you weren't actually emotionally where you needed to be. Could be. If these are both aspects of you, the King of Cups and the King of Wands. If they're two different people, then one of you is fiery, one of you is watery, and one of you has had a change in perspective or some sort, after being in some sort of uncomfortable situation. I definitely see an uncomfortable situation here. So I don't know what this is, but maybe this Three of Wands, Nine of Wands situation here has led somebody to seek refuge in a community or from, you know, it feels like a new community. And that kind of is dragging me back to that rehab theory a little bit. But I mean, that can be very important for some people. I'm not an expert whatsoever, but it does seem to come up a lot in my life with other people. I've never struggled with addiction or been to rehab, or I've been to AA meetings with other people before, but it wasn't for me. So I can't really speak on that, but I do believe that. I do believe that when you're going through anything, and certainly I've been there in other situations where I did seek out communities of people who had been through similar experiences as me, and it did help so much. So there is that. When you're going through something, it does help to know that you're not alone. Okay? You're going to make me emotional. But other than that, I don't know really what this is. Hopefully you do. I mean, definitely seems like an important time to remember the importance of community, the importance of people in being in your life and things like this. And it does kind of go back to what I was saying earlier about that feeling I had of being numb, of being cut off, of being just kind of in this weird zone, like this alternate dimension or something. I don't know, it's a very weird feeling, Capricorn, and I'm going to move on to the Grand Symphony and see if we can tie this together, because that's throwing me for a loop a little bit. Okay. Oh my god, it's like the same thing. A Grand Symphony, number 27, inclusivity, being part of the whole, removing bias, seeing the interconnectedness of all, knowing that everything you do has a consequence, unity consciousness, the end of division. As human beings, we have a tendency to see ourselves as separate from others. This perception is the root of the cosmic joke played on all of us. Although our five senses and intellect can help us manage our experiences in the material world, and intuition helps us navigate the invisible, we still struggle with the issue of identity and how we fit into the whole. You're facing a paradox today. You need to focus on being your unique self, for only you can bring your own special harmony to the symphony of the world. But equally, you need to learn to be selfless and put we before me, seeing yourself as part of the consciousness that unifies us all. You're being invited. You're being united. See? This definitely might be two aspects of yourself. You're being invited to step back and see the bigger picture until your individual part on the world stage disappears and blends with the glory of all life. It's true that who you are and what you do counts in far-reaching ways. Consider this, though. When you listen to music, it's the whole, not any single note on its own that makes the song come alive. So today, ask yourself, can you be a part of something bigger? Can you put the principles and needs of the group above your own wants? Can you fully embrace the concept of unity in diversity by celebrating all the notes in the symphony? If so, then you will indeed be wise, and whatever you are dreaming about will be fulfilled beyond your wildest hopes. It's time to do your part to sing in harmony with others. Stay in tune and learn the new harmonies and notes. Such sweetness will arise. Okay, for sure. For sure, okay. So maybe I was wrong. Okay. Step back. Over here we talked about impatience. 3 of Wands echoes impatience a little bit. So maybe we are looking at the Emperor and the King of Wands in more of a me energy. Okay, I don't see them that way. Maybe the 3 of Wands in reverse was supposed to tip me off to that. But that's not my natural inclination. I see the King of Wands and the Emperor as good, male, masculine energy. But we do have the Hanged Woman here. The Hanged Woman is about putting yourself in an uncomfortable position. It's about making sacrifices, right? It is about viewing the world from a different vantage point and potentially seeing the whole, getting outside of yourself. It's achieving enlightenment, right? So very well, yes, this would be about seeing the greater good, not just your own self-interest and what benefits you by yourself, right? So very crazy that these both talk about community and finding like your niche and where you belong. And I feel ultimately, even though I went off on so many different tangents, I think it's so weird how I foreshadowed this, right? I think this is about integrating yourself, and I foreshadowed it. So that tells me, ultimately, you know, tapping into what you're passionate about, tapping into, you know, your own self-interest, your fire, but also integrating your emotions. And we talked about integration over here too, integrating your emotions. I feel like for most of you, something is cracking open your emotions. It might be a person, it might, you know, might be a significant other, a friend, I don't know, a community, some, you know, maybe you're playing in a band or something. But I do feel that something's cracking you open and you're realizing the emotionality within you and potentially how being your full self is actually a benefit to everyone else. Not just you, but everyone else. And it takes you to such a different place. Why do we have the 9 of Wands here? I don't know, buddy. But I have a feeling that maybe you're a little scared and you're a little freaked out to kind of show all these different aspects of yourself to the world. But basically this reading is calling you to do so. Regardless of where you're resonating, I feel like the bottom line here is that there's so much more inside of you that you may or may not be aware of, but when it comes up, that is a part of you, and holding it in or denying it's there or numbing yourself to whatever does no one any good, especially you, but also those around you that you're involved with. It actually disconnects you and hinders you from being able to find a community of other people. And as much as I know Capricorns can be independent and very, you know, do-it-yourselfers, don't need anybody, it kind of feels good to have community, you know, it kind of feels good, even if it's just a few people that care about you and that you care about back, right? All right, I'm wishing you so much love, Capricorn. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.